Hello and welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studios here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Dorcas Chia. Our top stories. Federal government gives Chinese contractors 7-day ultimatum over poor road network. NDDC reaffirms support for Navy security agencies in Niger Delta. New Oyo Federal University sets March 6 for Pioneer Students' resumption. On the foreign scene, Canada, France open consultates in Greenland amid Arctic tensions. And now the news in detail. The Niger Development Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to sustained collaboration with security agencies to promote peace, protect critical national assets, and accelerate development across the Niger Delta region. NDDC Managing Director Dr. Samuel Ogboku gave the assurance during a courtesy visit by the flag officer commanding Central Naval Command Rear Admiral Suleiman Ibrahim at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt. Ogbuku stressed that security and development are closely linked, noting that lasting development cannot thrive in an atmosphere of insecurity, while underdevelopment often fuels unrest. He assured the Navy of the Commission's readiness to deepen engagement through strategic interventions that ease operational challenges in line with the federal government's directive to sustain peace in the region. The Federal University of Agriculture and Technology, Okeho in Oyo State, has fixed Friday, March 6, 2026 for the resumption of its pioneer students. The decision followed the institution's inaugural statutory Senate meeting, where the academic calendar and operational readiness for the university's first cohort were formally approved. University management disclosed that the first semester will end with examinations in July, followed by a short break before the second semester begins in August, with the academic session expected to conclude in November. The university also assured prospective students of adequate housing arrangements through a public-private partnership model, while matriculation numbers will soon be issued to candidates who have completed acceptance procedures. Away from that story, the Port and Terminal Multi-Service Limited Commander of the Nigerian Customs Service has handed over seized arms and ammunition to the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. Customs Area Comptroller Joe Anani said the handover underscores the service's zero-tolerance stance against arms smuggling and illicit trade across Nigeria's borders. He revealed that the weapons were seized on multiple occasions during the examination of imported vehicles between 2022 and 2025, with many concealed in hidden compartments. Customs investigations showed that several of the vehicles originated from the United States, highlighting the need for intensified border surveillance and intelligence-driven enforcement. Troops of the Nigerian Army have dismantled kidnappers' camps in Edo North Senatorial District, arresting 13 suspects and recovering arms, drugs, and other incriminating items. The operation, carried out under Operation Igbodanu 1, involved joint efforts by the Army, Armed Force, Police, NSCDC, and the Edo State Security Corps across several communities in Esako West local government area. Military authorities said the coordinated clearance operation targeted known criminal hideouts linked to kidnapping and drug trafficking activities. The Army reaffirmed its commitment to sustaining pressure on criminal elements, warning that Edo State would remain a hostile terrain for kidnappers and other violent offenders. The Oyo State government has announced plans to procure over 60,000 laptops to support the transition of WAEC examinations to computer-based testing. The Commissioner for Education said the move aligns with the federal government's directive for a gradual shift from pen and paper examinations to digital assessment. WAEC officials confirmed that the 2026 examinations will adopt a hybrid model depending on the readiness of individual schools across the state. Authorities warned that strict panel Authorities warned that strict penalties await candidates and schools involved in exam malpractice, including the cancellation of entire results where violations occur. Survivors of the Kumunwali mass abduction in Kaduna State have recounted harrowing experiences of hunger, beatings, and constant threats during their 3 weeks in captivity. The victims, who were abducted from churches in Kajuru local government area, said they were fed only a few times and forced to sleep in the open forest under severe conditions. They spoke after being received by Governor Uba Sani, expressing gratitude to security agencies for securing their release and ensuring their safety. Governor Sani assured the victims of medical and psychological support while revealing plans to establish a military base along the Kajuru-Kachia axis to prevent future attacks. We'll now take a pause here and up next are news stories from the build sector. Do stay with us.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa.
Welcome, glad to have you join us in Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Now to the build sector. The federal government has issued a 7-day ultimatum to a Chinese construction firm over alleged substandard road construction and environmental violations on major federal highways. Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, directed the contractor to immediately address dust pollution, failed road sections, and slow mobilization or risk suspension of the project. He expressed concern that completed sections of the road were already deteriorating, describing the situation as unacceptable under the renewed Hope administration. The minister warned that contractors who fail to meet agreed standards would face sanctions as the government remains committed to delivering durable and safe road infrastructure. The Lagos state government has reaffirmed its commitment to inclusive housing by integrating accessibility features for persons with disabilities into housing projects statewide. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Housing, said deliberate efforts are being made to ensure compliance with accessibility guidelines in both new and existing developments. Officials of the Lagos State Office for Disability Affairs stressed that accessibility is a fundamental right, not a privilege, and should be embedded at the planning stage. The engagement reflects the state's broader push to mainstream disability inclusion into public infrastructure and urban development policies. And now, Lafarge Africa PLC has announced plans to deploy modern energy-efficient technology. The company said the upgrades will increase production capacity while supporting green operations and sustainability goals. Management disclosed that the expansion will boost cement output to 3.5 million metric tons at Shagamu and 2 million metric tons at Ashaka annually. The initiative follows Hoagzin Group's majority acquisition of Lafarge Africa and reflects renewed confidence in Nigeria's infrastructure and construction sector. And now to the foreign scene. Canada and France have opened consulates in Greenland's capital, NUUK, in a show of diplomatic support for the autonomous Danish territory. The move comes amid renewed geopolitical tensions following U.S. President Donald Trump's repeated interest in controlling the strategically located Arctic island. European leaders have stressed that Greenland's sovereignty remains non-negotiable despite shared security concerns in the Arctic region. Analysts say the decision reflects Greenland's growing autonomy and the increasing strategic importance of the Arctic to global powers. Saudi Arabia has reaffirmed February 8, 2026 as the final deadline for submitting pilgrims' data on the Nusuk Masa platform for Hajj visa processing. Ministry of Hajj and Umrah said registration, medical contracts, and accommodation requirements is mandatory for visa approval. Authorities also announced March 20th as the final date for visa issuance, urging participating countries to adhere strictly to operational guidelines. The ministry warned that failure to meet the deadlines could result in exclusion from the 2026 Hajj exercise. That's the much we can take on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. Federal government gives Chinese contractors 7-day ultimatum over poor road work. NDDC reaffirms support for Navy security agencies in Niger Delta. New Oyo Federal University sets March 6 for pioneer student resumption. On the foreign team, we told you that Canada, France opened consulate in Greenland amid Arctic tensions. For more news and updates in the housing sector, do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Housing TV Africa. You can follow us on all social media platforms and download the Housing TV mobile app on your Google Play Store and App Store. Many thanks for watching. I am Dr. Chia. Bye for now.